Okay, looks like we're live. So I'm so excited because today I've asked Sarah to come here and share something that is very personal to her, but also I think can be really impactful in the lives of people who might be struggling with similar things. So thank you, Sarah, so much for being here to tell a little bit of
Yay, I'm so excited.
Good. And I know you said, like, I don't know how to talk about myself, which a lot of people can sometimes feel like. So we're just going to start by kind of telling her journey, kind of like it's a story, because it's felt like a story to us. We've been on the journey.
Yes, you've been a big part of it, actually.
Yeah. So go
Um,
ahead and just talk about first, like how we met and how you got started here.
sure. So I met Sarah. Her sister actually works at my company in downtown Cleveland. So Sarah came in and did a lecture kind of about what she does and how she runs her chiropractor business. Actually, I was kind of shopping for my husband, and because he has spinal issues and intestinal issues. So I wasn't even thinking about myself because I had already done the chiropractor route and it wasn't successful. I didn't connect with the chiropractor himself, and I didn't like his technique. It was kind of bizarre, and I don't know, I didn't feel like instant gratification. Um, so I was a little discouraged. So I kind of crossed off chiropractors forever. Um, so I actually went up to Sarah after the lecture. I got her card, and I made an appointment for my husband, and I made him go. And I ended up watching the appointment, as weird as that sounds, but she kind of did some pops and cracks in his back, and you could hear it and see it. And he felt like $1,000,000 after 10 minutes with her. And I ended up scheduling an appointment for myself. So
Try this.
yeah, we started going together. The commute to Lakewood was not convenient for him, but I continued to go. So I think, I don't know, did I start every 2 weeks with you? I think that's what happened.
Yeah, sometimes you might have done like once a week for a little bit, but
Yeah.
quickly we could tell your body was able to like maintain the improvements.
Hmm.
So we sort of like, we always do like, hi, I just met your body. So let's start by giving it lots of support. And then once you feel better, we'll go another week and another week and another week. So yeah, you moved along through those steps pretty quickly. And I know you had like, a lot of neck and shoulder stiffness and like tightness. Did you find that so what I know that I do different from other chiropractors is spend a lot of time on the muscles. Is that what felt different to you about your experience here?
No, it was completely separate. He used some sort of gun type thing, and he would kind of click on my spine.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't feel anything and I wouldn't hear anything except the click of the gun. And then I would sit on a heating pad for 20 minutes, which I can do at home. So,
So just for anyone out there who is seeing a chiropractor like this, what I will say is I have friends who run clinics like this who help so many people, especially babies, especially animals, especially elderly people, or anyone with some bone density. Definitely can be helpful. But in the instance that you're not responding, know that there are other techniques
yeah,
too. You have to, right? And like you said, you have to connect with your doctor, feel like, you click with them.
yeah, for sure.
um,
And
and so, yeah,
yeah,
interesting that didn't really make much of a difference at all, but then you felt a huge difference here.
yeah, it was pretty much instantly. It was right after the first session. I mean, you put me in all sorts of weird positions and just popped me almost back into place. And
So was it scary?
uh, it was bizarre. I know like I still do. I tense up because I know what's coming,
Yeah.
but it just like after it happens it just feels good. I mean I can sit here and pop and crack my neck, and I'm used to the sound, I'm used to the feeling, but it's just knowing that it's coming. It's just
Yeah.
it's so weird. It's such a weird feeling, but
I
it
think
works.
it's funny because like 90% of my job is like effectively and comfortably sneaking up on people. Like half magician, half doctor, but it's funny because I don't think there's a lot of places in our lives where we have to sort of surrender to that. Like someone's just going to hold my head and do something with it. Like
Mm-hmm.
where else does that happen? Except for like with a really good hair washing at the salon, or
Yes,
something.
that.
So I think it's definitely like a brave thing, but so worth it on the other side. When people have never been adjusted, I'm like, this is your lucky day. It's going to be unlike anything you've ever experienced.
Seriously was my lucky day. So I've always had headaches as a kid, and I was diagnosed with lupus and inflammatory arthritis. So that's why I started this journey. I didn't know what to do. I felt like I was out of options. I've taken so many different kinds of medication, and it was kind of a short-term fix. And that's what Advil does, it's short term. So it's how can I try to get off that Advil and continue about my regular day with no pain. So far so good.
Yeah. So what kind of pain did you used to have pretty regularly that you don't notice anymore now? And this is just simply with the chiropractic.
So I had a lot of hip problems. I had knee problems and sometimes heel problems. I'm an athlete, so that kind of came with the territory. But now that I'm not as active as I was in college or high school, it's the wear and tear has caught up to me. So the chiropractic, the adjustments have really kind of kept my body aligned. And I'm still a little bit active. So of course, being active always helps kind of every situation, but I couldn't be active without getting adjusted. So
yeah, you probably perform so much better too, which now you're like, what's it like to not be adjusted? I forget, which is great. But I bet if you didn't for a while, you would just notice a huge difference in your performance too. As a dancer, seeing a chiropractor growing up, I always noticed a huge difference in how my performance went, whether I was adjusted or not. So it was always a part of what I did.
Too. It's after you do that physical activity, it just everything hurts.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, why
Absolutely.
did I do that to myself?
Yeah.
Let's work off all the cookies I ate. So
I remember there was one day when we were adjusting you and you're having vertigo pretty bad, which you've also struggled with most of your life, right? And you kept a journal like of detailed notes of when you would have it and not. And I know we made some progress with chiropractic. Like there are definitely times when that helps, right?
That was like, I knew you were working. I knew what you were doing was the right thing for me, but this was like the aha light bulb moment. So it wasn't too long ago. It was a couple weeks ago. I started getting vertigo back in 2016, and I've been keeping a journal. Actually, it's right over there. I've been keeping a journal of every episode I get, what I've eaten, my sleeping habits, trying to figure out what kind of spurred these episodes. And nothing was consistent.
You've seen neurologists about this, right? Like,
yeah, so I had
you've
MRIs,
seen a lot of people.
I saw an ENT, which is an ear, nose, throat doctor. I've actually seen 2 different ones because I didn't like the first one I saw. So I did a lot of things.
I love that you demand the level of care you want and need. I love that when you're like, I don't really like that one, I'm going to try another. Like, I love that you take that upon yourself. I think
it took me a while to be that way, though, because I would see a doctor and I would say, I'm done. I give up. That's it. So it's kind of taken a long time for me to be that way. But yeah, I was laying in your office, not in the waiting room, in actual in the actual adjustment room.
That would be weird.
It would be weird. So I was laying down and I told you about my dizzy spells because they started getting really consistent in December of 2020. And you had kind of pressed on like a pressure point, like just in my lower neck. And the room instantly started spinning. It was bad. I thought, oh God, I can't drive home. And you were like, wait, don't panic. And you kind of put me in this weird position. You popped me this way, cracked me that way. And it stopped. The spinning stopped. And I was like, oh my God, adjustments work. So yeah, mind blown. So yeah. It was very, very cool. I mean, not the spinning part, but the fact that what you did it worked instantly. And I just blown away.
Ooh. I mean, I think a lot of people, maybe not everyone, but a lot of people have that moment where they're like, wait, the pain stopped, or wait, the symptom just went away. Yeah. Wow. And it's because your nervous system controls your whole body and everything's so related. Your muscles, your bones, your fascia, your nerves, everything has to work together in perfect harmony. And when it doesn't, that's when your body's going to start screaming and letting you know.
For sure.
So we made pretty good progress, but it just wasn't quite maintaining, right? Like the results were not quite maintaining. And there were like, I know a lot of ways. Well, I guess after we talk about the acupuncture portion, we can talk about the ways that this has affected your life in a positive way. But
Yeah.
so then we said, you were like, maybe I should try acupuncture. And I was like, yes, Dr. Melissa is in our office. She does acupuncture. And we sort of together decided, like, we gave you some information. I know we had like exchanged some messages just to give you information about it. And then you decided to do it. So tell us a little bit about that.
So actually, my first kind of interaction with acupuncture goes back to 2015. So I went to Australia just, because, and I actually worked at a facility pulling out acupuncture needles. So there I was able to meet a lot of lupus patients, a lot of autoimmune patients, patients with headaches, arthritis, and they said it worked. They didn't know how, they didn't know why, but it worked. So I would see them. They would come back every week, and it'd be the same places they would put the pins, and they would leave like a new person. And I never took it upon myself to actually try. So again, after meeting you and kind of seeing that what you did worked, I met with Dr. Melissa, and I was a little skeptical. Didn't know how I felt about pins being pushed in me. I thought it would hurt. I don't know. I was just a little indifferent, but
Feels
very
like a
open.
tiny little prick.
Yeah. I was very open to it because I was out of options. I was tired of taking, again, the medication. The medication that my ENT was prescribing me was making me so drowsy I couldn't function throughout the day. I like just getting up to get a drink of water was exhausting. So I didn't want to live that way. So I started seeing Dr. Melissa once a month for 10 weeks, I think. And I still kept a journal because I wanted to see, if it worked. It took me about 5 or 6 appointments with her to actually feel a difference. So
You can track which needles she put where,
yeah,
right?
I did. So she started adding some here and like at the top of my head. And when she started doing those, that's when I started to feel a difference. But she was kind of describing to me that she couldn't add those until she saw how my body reacted to the ones on my ankles and calves. And she put a few in my hands and my stomach. So she wanted to see how my body took to those before she started adding more, which makes sense.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so about 5 or 6 visits with her, I was able to do the things I couldn't do anymore. Like, when you tip your hair upside down to blow dry your hair, I couldn't do that. So I was able to do that. When you kind of just bend over to touch your toes or pick something off the ground without bending your knees, I was able to do that without spinning.
How long had it been since you could do that?
A couple months.
Wow.
December was bad. I thought it was because of the weather and it was getting cold, and my body just calls it quits when it's cold. And
Did you have vertigo for years before this too, though?
so I was having, I don't know, maybe 6 plus or minus episodes a year for the past 4 years. So since
Even then, you
2016.
couldn't tip your hair upside down or anything?
No. So, but these episodes were a little different. It would come out of nowhere. I felt like I was on a boat rocking, and I was down for about a week. And I took the medication, like prednisone, and I was fine. So after about 10 days, I was good to go, and nothing happened. Well, December, it was just like a constant wooziness. So it was just a lingering kind of dizzy spell. And my ENT said I had Meniere's disease, and rightfully so. I had all the symptoms except the ringing in the ear, and Dr. Melissa was convinced I didn't have Meniere's disease. I said, okay, prove me wrong.
Well, Meniere's kind of describes symptoms, but there's not a documented treatment. It's kind of a way of saying,
No,
like, we acknowledge that you have an issue, but we're not able to help you, other than
pretty
lots of
much.
steroids, which cover up the symptom. And it's important to be able to cover up a symptom too. You don't want to just suffer with your symptoms, but to what extent and for how long and what kind of effects can that have? So
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
prednisone isn't good for a long period of time, and it's not good for you
Repeated
know,
use is tough on the body too.
yeah, and women who are looking to have children in the future. So
Mm-hmm.
that was not the route for me. So Dr. Melissa made some magic happen, and I wouldn't say I'm 100%. I would say I'm very close, 90%, which is way better than living at 30%. So,
Yeah. Tell
um,
us what you did on your vacation. That was new.
yes. So I had never ridden a roller coaster before, and it was not because of vertigo. It was because of lack of interest. So my husband and I went to Disney World, and I was able to
That's
ride
for your honeymoon too,
a like Plan B
kind of.
honeymoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't been able to take our honeymoon yet, but so this was Plan B, and I was able to ride a few different roller coaster rides, and not feel like it was the end of the world afterwards. So we were able to do the sharp turns kind of made me a little nervous. They were little hard, but I got off the ride and I wasn't spinning, and it was crazy. There's no way I would have been able to enjoy Disney World without seeing you guys. There's no way. Absolutely.
What about that's amazing. First of all, I think that's so fun because roller coasters aren't on people's like list of essential things, but when you suddenly realize on vacation to Disney World that you
Yeah.
can, that's so fun. And then even like sleeping flat on your back at night, right? Wasn't that something that you were able to do
Yeah.
better?
So before I saw Dr. Melissa, I was only able to sleep on my right side, kind of tucked. Um, I was not able to lay flat. I don't know why. I would think laying flat would be the safest position, but it wasn't. Like I definitely couldn't lay on my right side because I would instantly get the spins, and laying on my back, I would start to get spins too. So now I don't wake up at night because I feel motion sickness. I can kind of sleep through the night now, which is a big deal. Um, like even in your adjustment room, I couldn't lay flat on your chair. You had to tilt the head up for me just a little bit, and I even brought my own pillow when I would see Dr. Melissa. I brought this like giant kind of reading pillow because I couldn't lay flat, and I stopped bringing it after a while because I didn't need it. I was able to lay on the pillow provided, and all was well.
That's awesome. I just think that that has been um like impactful in a lot of ways, like that it'd be hard to list all the things that happen each
Yeah,
day that, that where you feel like it's important that your health is improved. It's important that you're finding these new things you can do and you've found a team you can work with. But I think what's most important is just the daily like empowerment. It sounds like
yeah.
I can do this. I've got a plan for if something feels off in my body.
It's I know now there's probably no going back, and um which I'm sure, some people say, oh, well, that's how they get you. Like you have to go back. But if it works, why would I stop?
Yeah, we don't have anyone that's forced to come back. I'll say that.
Yeah,
And I always say to put chiropractic in the same category as like exercise. You don't just go to
mhm,
the gym, get fit, and say like I did it and never go back. Like you work on it
right.
consistently for health, towards your health. Even like brushing your teeth. Well, there are things you do that make your teeth dirty, so you keep brushing them. There are things you do that affect your nervous system, and the energy flowing through your whole body when it comes to acupuncture. And by getting a checkup on exactly that, your nervous system, then you are treating the things along the way that could down the road turn into big problems.
Yeah, that's actually a really good analogy. It is like the gym or even brushing your teeth. It's just
Yeah.
you have to be kind of consistent and diligent about it, or else there's going to be no effect at the end.
Maintain your progress and your health. What else could we do, right? Like that's the goal. That's the goal, to
Yeah.
like live a life, with like less pain, being able to do what you want to do. And the ways you achieve that can be the basics, like drink more water, get enough sleep, eat healthy, exercise, get adjusted, get acupuncture, get these like natural modalities so that you don't end up having to take a pill forever. You're going to do something every day, regardless, right?
Yeah.
So, well, thank you so much for sharing. I've really appreciated your openness, and we collected your testimonial because we were just so impressed with your story and your openness to share. It really means a lot, and I'm sure there are people that will see this.
I hope so. I really do. I hope that reading my testimonial or watching this interview, it gives people more of an open mind to just try it. And it's not going to work the first or second time. Just my patience level is below average. I don't have patience. So just having patience and trusting you and Melissa and your team that they know what they're doing, it might work for you. And I hope it does.
What made you stick it out when you were like, my patience level, like you were noticing little things along the way, but what made you stick it out?
So I really vibe with you. I love seeing you I'm sad it's only once a month, but I liked coming into your office, and Kara and Savannah are so friendly at the front desk, and it was just a place I wanted to be. And again, I felt like I got instant results from you. Now I know Dr. Melissa, acupuncture is going to work differently than getting adjusted. But I gave Melissa 10 visits. I said, if it doesn't work, I got to do something else. She said, totally understand.
Yeah. So, and she probably told you like just what to expect, right? Like, yeah, she was there for questions along the way. Like that helps too. I think when you're like, okay, we have a plan together.
Yeah. And, after speaking with her after 1 or 2 visits, I was like, okay, I can vibe with her too. So it's just, it's the atmosphere and kind of the way you run your office that kept me in.
Well, thank you. We're so happy we got to be a part of your journey and are still a part of your journey. I can't wait to see where all it takes us throughout the years. So
I think I come in tomorrow. So
perfect. Looking at my calendar soon. There's always like, I imagine my face on everyone's calendar, like,
if I had a picture of face, I would definitely put it on my calendar.
All right. Well, thanks again, Sarah. We really appreciate it. And you have a great day. And if anyone's listening and you have any questions, you can pop questions in the comments and we'll do our best to answer them later. And if one of them is specifically for Sarah, I'll let her know and we'll try to get back to you about all this. But if you're out there struggling with any part of your pain or vertigo journey, know that there are answers and there are just like people waiting here in Lakewood, Ohio to love all over you and get you better. We just want to take care of you.
Yeah,
so
they do.
We hope to meet you soon. And thanks again.